Mr. Crowley, what went on in your head? Oh, Mr. Crowley, did you talk to the dead? Your life.
What's up, MVP? You got Johnny Brento about to drop some knowledge on you about George A. Romero and the trilogy of the dead. If you haven't heard of George Romero and aren't aware that he's the guy that essentially created the zombie subgenre of horror, I don't know what rock you've been living under, but it's time to come out. So we're heading right now to check out the latest in the entry, which is the latest entry in the, I guess it's a trilogy anymore now, is it? But I just
it's a whatever, a Centology or whatever.
Whatever. I was just going to tell you a bit about what made me connect to those films. You know, when I was like in my early teens, I'm thinking 15 or so, the first time I saw them. I actually saw them out of sequence, which probably a lot of people did. You know, Day of the Dead was probably the first one I got to see in the theater, but the first one I saw on video would have been Dawn of the Dead. You know, your main characters in that film were holed up in a shopping mall, and you know, with a bunch of zombies that have overrun the place, and eventually clean them all out, and they have access to this, you know, environment. Which, you know, as a kid, I mean, a mall is pretty much, you know, the coolest thing you can think of. Anything you're interested in, you can get at a big megaplex like that. So that seemed pretty cool to me, and you can empathize with a hero that's doing shit that you think would be fun and cool, and that's exactly what happened.
You mean Roger and the two SWAT guys, Roger and Ken Foree's character?
Yeah, and to a point, all of them. You know, I mean, they were survivors, and they got one guy was a helicopter pilot, although he was kind of a big sissy. But yeah. So Ken Foree's character is the main one I'm talking about.
I identify with Roger.
Yeah, but you know, I realized when they were like in there shooting on the ice rink, using the ice rink as a gun range and practicing shooting mannequins, I was like, man, you know, this would be cool. You're like sitting there in your desk drawing little pictures in school of the characters and whatnot, thinking, you know, it's just a total escape movie. You know, like which essentially is like, you know, if you're watching a film that's a Holocaust scenario or end of the world type scenario, you're free of all the mores of society. You can kick all the ass you need to survive, and it's totally okay. You can blow people away. Hey man, there's a guy with a car. Hey buddy, I need your car. You ain't having my car. The hell you say? Pow. You know, I mean, it's totally cool because you're like, you know, you're saving your own ass. You know, CYOA baby. That's the way we do it at MVP. You know, that's how you have to roll. So it's kind of an escapist picture for me, and I just totally connected with that. And you know, when I got into trying to make short films and stuff, you know, obviously the only thing I wanted to make was a zombie movie. Hence the Zombie Hunter. Hence the creation of Mutantville Productions.
Zombie Hunter, the greatest film of all time.
Second to Tremors. Okay, that's it. Day of the Dead, first of the Romero films that I got to see, and an actual theater. You know, scary as hell at the time, which I was probably about, I don't know, 16, 17 or so. Coolest thing about this movie is that it had the greatest freaking quotes that, you know, you could take back to school, and just, you know, people that were into the horror scene, you could say those quotes to them, and that kind of like was your badge of honor, you know.
You're giving me a mouthful of Greek salad.
You know, I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein. Right. Totally, you know. That was a great movie, man. And you know, the big payoff at the end where the main baddie gets ripped apart, and he's all like, "Chaka-daka." I love that shit, man. I mean, that just brings a tear to the eye and just warms the heart, you know.
What was that like seeing that in the theater?
It was awesome. It was totally awesome. I mean, back then, that level of gore, even with the, you know, the less than realistic style zombies, still, I mean, the
it's
level,
gory today.
But I mean, a little bit less realistic. It's more of either a hyper real or, you know, suspension of disbelief type scenario with the coloration of dead flesh and all that. But man, Tom Savini was on point.
Now, what do you mean by that? Because I always thought the zombies in Day looked the best out of the whole trilogy.
Well, kids, for those of you in the know, old Johnny Brento is a licensed mortician, as a matter of fact. So I've seen what human beings look like on the inside, and fresh too, you know. So I prefer hyperreal, actually. But yeah, you know, the coloration, really, mostly the coloration. You know, unless I think what happened was he kind of set the tone in just gone, dude.
Derailed you. I'm sorry.
Land of the Dead, not super smart, but a lot smarter zombies that can figure shit out. That's scary on a different level, you know. If it's just a big mob of zombies running at you, you gotta think, hey man, I got an armored APC. You know, these cats are just gonna be a day at the shooting range for me. But you know, if then those guys can figure out how to pick up guns and shoot back at you, that kind of changes things pretty dramatically, actually. So you know, this film, I liked it. I didn't like it as much as some of the earlier films, in particular Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, which for me are the top so far. But I did like it, and clearly it had some a little bit of bloat from the budget, I think, and you know, just the level of name actors in it. But still, you know, it connected. It worked for me.
It was still less than 20 million, just FYI. So,
Yeah.
which is small for that kind of movie.
Yeah, it you know, and again, I think the digital effects in it were really restrained, and they worked well for me. What I'm going to always love in a horror film, you know, latex, things that are in the same dimension as us, you know, real stuff. It looks different, it looks real. I love digital effects as much as the next guy, but when you intermingle the two, you had to be very, very subtle with it, and you know,
They did good with it.
I thought so, definitely. What
did you think of the head flipping over? The bike, you know?
You know, those kinds of things for me work better if I don't see it coming a mile away like I did that. I mean, I totally knew that was going to... I mean, you know, what can I say? I don't know if it's maybe intuition from seeing these films so much, but I knew that was coming, and it just didn't...
That one got me. I don't know.
It didn't get me.
It surprised me the first time.
I don't know why. It just didn't. But I still liked the film, you know, and it had a good payoff at the end. And that's why, you know, really, Romero's great about that, you know. It's like he takes you down this path, and here it comes, here it is! And it's always like stark and beautiful and horrific at the same time. And from the reviews I read, there's a similar ending, Diary of the Dead. I'm really excited to see what that's going to be.
Mr. Crowley, what went